We're outside of Gage, New Mexico. This is our first BLM campsite. It was a little difficult to get to, but not as bad as some that we've done. Look back at the video of Goose Pasture. It's not that bad. I would not come out here if it was wet, because we'd probably get stuck. But we're quickly learning that we're taking our RV where most people would not. And we're getting some really good scenery from it. This is our BLM campsite. Kind of driving out. We're off-roading around this campsite. You see over the Jeep there, that's our RV way off in the distance. Come up this mountain and we found this structure up here. Don't know what it is, but there are little hand-laid rock buildings here, right along this water tower. Unfortunately, there's a gate and a bunch of boulders in front of this path going up to the top of the mountain, which is where we were trying to go. This is one of these stone structures. I don't know what they are. Maybe a little house? We're thinking maybe it was some kind of mining thing that was going on up here. But there's a few more of them down here we're going to take a look at. This one's pretty much knocked over. Some steel out here. This one looks to be in really good shape, but it's real short. So, anybody knows what these are, let me know. This one's probably one of the bigger ones. Now, this one's got windows. Appears to be larger than the others. Got rocks in the windows. Actually, there ain't no rattlesnakes around here. Oh, door's on the other side. And this one over here is big. We're inside the big one here. All the windows. This one was built down into the ground. That's kind of cool. And right here, looks like an old fireplace. Got the windmill down there. We decided to come up here to the top. Those houses are down there. This looks like some kind of a chute here. We're thinking this was definitely a mine of some kind. Coming up here to check it out. Let me show you how far away the Jeep is. Jeep's way down there. I would have brought it up here. Oh, and the RV's way over there. I would have brought the Jeep up here, but it didn't look like it was a good place to turn around. So we found the old mine shaft. Yes, you probably could fit through there. No, it's probably not a good idea. No idea what they were mining for. I don't know. It's a pretty shitty trail. This is probably the 4th mine shaft that we found. There is mines all over out here. I don't know what they were mining, but they are pretty neat. All of them have been sealed up so that nobody can get into it, but it looks like they're preserving the history by keeping this structure up here. Abandoned mine. Land Bureau of Santa Fe, New Mexico. This is the Gage Rambler shaft. This thing, it's been modernized a little bit with the tube, but here, see if you can hear this rock. Here we go. There. So after finding those buildings out here, we thought it was real interesting and started to look online, see what we could find out about the Gage area, and stumbled across a blog post by a guy who has been out here most of his life. He gave a lot of really fascinating history about it. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. But mining was started out here in the late 1800s. It continued through probably 1940, 1950. In the 1960s, one young man died falling in there, and they decided they were going to start sealing up the mine shafts. It took them until 1994 to get all the mine shafts around here sealed. As you've seen in the videos, they've got big steel grates. They're pretty well protected, but they have managed to try and preserve some of the history. So like when you're looking at the grids that are covering the mine shafts, you can see how they cut around it if there's a timber sticking up through it or something. They left all of the old tins from the miners out here, which is pretty impressive. This is a definitely a neat place. I wish there was more information about it. So the buildings that we found is what's left of the small mining town called Chance. So people are still raising cows out here. We've got an old school windmill that brings up the water. A newer tank on it. There was something big bolted over here. Probably something for the mining operation. Pretty nifty. Walk over here. You can see where the water's been overflowing and made a little oasis over here. The water from for the cows here has its own little ecosystem. Look at all these water plants in there. And bugs, all kinds of stuff. And then I guess that's the overflow over there. But it appears that this windmill still works. One of the few that I've seen that's still in operation. Yeah, sure enough, it's got a overflow hose that runs right into that little lake. Looks like when they closed the mine, somebody took all of this concrete and dumped it over here. Designated area or something? I don't know. We're hiking up here on the mountain, finding mine shaft after mine shaft after mine shaft. Pretty neat. And they've got this hand-laid retaining wall right here. There's another shaft above this. Found some caves. We were thinking they were natural, but they've got mine guards on them as well. I thought it was an animal. Whoever was sitting on top of a rock, it looked like an animal. So we're out here off-roading out by Gage, New Mexico. We've gone away from the mining mountain and over to the other side. Not much of trails out here. A lot of fun in the Jeep though. I don't know how far we're going to go up this one. Might actually need four-wheel drive. Now straight ahead there's a mound of dirt coming out of the side of that hill. That means that there's a shaft right above that. If you think about it, if you were mining out here, why would you haul off all the dirt? I don't think this trail goes anywhere.
No, I think this is pretty much it.
This is pretty much the end of that. Yep. That's a shame. I was hoping something was going to go up to the peak. None of this one. Alright. And down we go. To go up on the next. Flatten that area. Now we got the short wheelbase. Now this is a valley we haven't even seen yet.
Oh,
It looks like the trail ends, doesn't it?
can't see over the side, so.
Alright, we got 2 ways to go here.
Good.
Oh, there's a house!
Oh, look at that.
Well, it just popped up out of nowhere, didn't it? Oh, shit. Well, we must stop and see this. Hope there's nobody living in it.
I doubt it.
Looks like a barn.
Yeah, out here.
Oh, this is rough. God,
You
this
can
is rough.
definitely tell that this side of them isn't used very much.
No. We have not seen very many tracks at all. It's got a sign on it.
Huh?
Is that a sign?
I don't know.
That's really cool if it has a sign on it. Because that's old. Dang it, it's tilt here.
Too many crickets. This is not. Okay.
That better?
Why's it gotta lean on my side?
This, oh, it's not a sign. The whole thing's made out of tin. Oh my gosh.
Huh.
That is old. For the tin to be rusted like that?
Well, isn't that pretty cool?
There's another one here. Well, it's nylon thread. Skinny like a motorcycle.
There's the old tin can that they used, or bucket, to haul the water.
Or gasoline. Okay. These tires are what's intriguing me. I'd like to know what they are. I don't think I've ever seen a tire like this on a motorcycle. Nylon tread, I have no idea if Model A or Model T had that or not.
Huh. Probably look it up.
Oh, look at this big washout. Oh, this is what the house was built on.
Yeah.
There's this little washout here. Dry riverbed. Whatever they call it in New Mexico. We call it off-roading. Two-wheel drive. Looks like it goes down that way and that way, right?
Sure does. And then comes up the other side.
That's interesting. Well, you don't want to be out here during a flash flood. That's for sure. Trident two-wheel.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that.
No problem.
This tire tracks. Somebody else has been out here.
Oh my.
I don't see where this road goes, so.
No.
Coming up that last section was pretty rough, and I think the only way out is back the way we came. So
Yeah. So hopefully there's a place for us to
it's running along this dried out riverbed.
turn around.
Oh, I'll make a place to turn around.
Oh, there's a honeysuckle.
Oh, you know, there's so many rocks here. This road was made at one point. Might have been the 1910s or something, but.
Watch out for that really big rock.
Lots of bumps.
Oh my. Oh.
Big rocks right here. She climbs like a billy goat. I think we're going to reach a peak.
I think so. Eventually.
It's poured concrete. Oh, you can see the
Oh my.
cell tower. Should make a Facebook post from here. Go live. You're scaring me.
I'm fine. Oh. Oh, hang on.
You should hang on.
Yeah, I'm hanging on. Oh.
Well, that's number 3.
Okay, there's not enough cushion on the sidebar.
Yeah.
Just saying. Hip may have a bruise. Oh my.
You know how hard it is to steer with your feet?
Really, honey?
Oh, oh.
Oh,
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. There you go.
okay. Well, this is a new, I think.
You could have sat up here on this bar, dog.
Oh, I could have. I don't know why I didn't.
You find these dump pits that have all these old tins in here. I was reading in the blog post that when they came out here and sealed up all the mines between 64 and 94, they actually wanted to preserve a lot of this because this is how all the miners used to live. My understanding is that tins of sardines and obviously some kind of oil and other things were really used heavily out here, and then the tins were just discarded. So you find them everywhere out here. We're about to leave our BLM campground, our first BLM campground. This was only supposed to be a one-night stay, but it turned into a 3-night stay. 2 days in a row we took the Jeep out, had a blast, learned a bunch of history about the area. We have seen almost nobody. There has been 3 vehicles since we've been here. The first vehicle was a white Chevy 4-wheel drive pickup with government tags, so we're assuming it has something to do with the BLM. The second was a 1-ton 4-wheel drive utility body hauling a cattle trailer, dropping off cows out here. Evidently they allow them to graze out here. And then the last was a sheriff's deputy who drove in here to the campground, drove around our RV, we're assuming to see our tag, and then left. I was putting on my shoes to go out and talk to him, you know, just to see what's up, and he just left, didn't hang around or nothing. Other than that, Completely quiet. No off-roaders, no four-wheelers, no people hiking, nobody. Oh, and we've had pretty decent Verizon with the Wii Boost. We learned on the Jeep ride, if we go past some of the big mountains to our west, there's a cell tower over there, which we get full bars. Pretty neat place.
This is a real working windmill. You can see the rod going up and down, pumping the water. Right there, you can see how much water this windmill is pumping out.
Oh, it's crystal clear looking.
Look at that. That is pretty cool. Huh.